Hello, my name is Tingyu Wu, and I am in Ms. Bollick's first period class. Today I'll be analyzing the most prominent September 11, 2001 conspiracy theory. On September 11, 2001, 19 Islamic terrorists from Saudi Arabia and several other Arabic nations hijacked 4 airlines to carry out suicidal attacks in the U.S. As we know today, it was to the Twin Towers in New York City, a site of the Pentagon, and the 4th plane crashed into a field in Pennsylvania. After the attack, an ocean wave of conspiracy theories swept the nation. Today I'll be talking about a popular conspiracy theory that popped up after the attack. It states that the U.S. government knew about the attacks so they could justify the invasion on Iraq and Afghanistan to secure the oil interests. Right after the 9/11, the U.S. was worried that the leader of Iraq, Saddam Hussein, was assisting the terrorists in the plan and making weapons of mass destruction. So on March 20, 2003, President Bush ordered an invasion on Iraq. Later, Saddam Hussein was captured, put on trial by the new Iraqi government, and finally executed in 2006. From the Washington Post, a 2003 document explained that the U.S. goal was to defend a regiment that developed and used weapons of mass destruction that harbored and supported terrorists committing outrageous human rights abuse. Others believed it was otherwise, in effect after the 9/11 attack to get their oil because Iraq is a country full of oil supplies. Kairos is evident in this theory because people wanted to know why such things could happen in the U.S. Most people wanted to know if America had the most powerful Air Force, why did the Air Force fail to protect the lives of so many Americans that day? This led people to speculate that maybe the government is under this, targeting those who distrust the mainstream media. Because the 9/11 attack happened before the Iraq War, Americans assumed that the war was somehow tied to the 9/11 attack. Using post-hoax ergo propter hoc, people assumed that they were the cause and effect, leading people to believe that this statement is true. Therefore, the theory was created that 9/11 was before the Iraq War, so that must be the cause of it. After identifying this fallacy, we realize that it actually weakens this theory rather than supporting it because it's a form of false thinking. To society, it causes misinformation to be spread around. American emotions ran high after the 9/11 as shown through pesos. Since many families were grieving during this time, the theorists targeted those who can relate to this grief by focusing on emotional outrage and distress to convince those families that the government was behind it all, knowing that their desire is to have someone to blame for this tragic time. Furthermore, logos is also evident in this theory. A chemistry professor, Niels Harrit, used science to justify that the collapse of the Twin Towers could not have been by hijacked planes, but rather due to controlled explosions as the building collapsed on impact. The dust from the World Trade Center were found evident that they had nanothermite high explosive dusts. The use of logos appeals was used to make people believe that the theory was true. Hasty generalization is used to target those who just want the answers and those who don't want to give the theory another thought. Without looking at the history of the terrorists, it's easy to assume that the government were the orchestrators at this plan. Begging the question is used to make this theory sound like a fact. It is a technique that theorists use to make the theory more believable for others by leaving certain information during the 9/11 out. It makes it sound more factual than it actually would sound otherwise, causing the spread of misinformation. Appeal to authority is used through ethos. The famous American actor Woody Harrelson believed that 9/11 was fabricated by the U.S. government. Appeal to authority is crucial because the theorists are using famous people's opinions as evidence, but it doesn't mean that he is correct. To the people, the danger of celebrity influences on theorists can cause a domino effect of false information. These fallacies and logical appeals create fear, distrust, and doubt in the choices of the government. As the curiosity of our brains continues to strive, this conspiracy theory spreads misinformation and confusion. In contrast, this theory does have a positive side. It makes people more critical about their government and what they are seeing online, which is essential to a functioning democracy. Ultimately, through the use of fallacies, this theory becomes appealing to the people. Even though there is clear factual evidence to go against the claim, it doesn't stop the spread of this theory. American citizens had emotional, instinctive, and logical reasoning for believing in this theory. Simply because they want to believe something is true doesn't mean it is true. Thank you for listening.